Okay. Hey, friends. Thanks for joining. Hey, Theodore, Crystal. Hello. Evening for me. I'm in the future, but I want to thank you all for joining. This is a last-minute impromptu. This is actually the first Waking Up in the Dream live that I'm going to be doing now, starting every Tuesday and Thursday. And it's going to be, for now, I think the times are going to be 7 p.m. Pacific and 10 p.m. Eastern, just to try it out. I figured if I did it in the mornings and flip-flopped it, a lot of people might be at work. So anybody's feedback on this as far as availability as these get going more and more will be greatly appreciated. This is a really powerful format, and the reason why is because instead of me just talking, I get to bring people into the room, and we get to do the mirroring process that we do in the monthly Waking Up in the Dream online transformational journeys. And it's really, really powerful because the tools in the book are powerful. The tools that I learned from my teachers, everybody's my teacher, but I'm specifically talking about my time with Don Miguel Ruiz, my mentor, who I met in 2001. And that was the beginning of really going down the inner rabbit hole. Whereas we've got the outer rabbit hole of the conspiracies and the things that are going on out there, but the real life-changing, dream-changing things happen on the inside, because everything on the external is a reflection of the frequencies, energies, thoughts, beliefs, traumas, wounds, and ownership of our divine unlimited potential. And when I say unlimited, can everybody register what unlimited really means? Because when I say, yes, we're divine sovereign beings, it's like, even for my mind, and I was brought up Catholic, I was in Catholic schools until 9th grade. I was an altar boy in the church. I was in some deep doo-doo and heavy judgment and, man, deep, deep programming. So when I talk about we are sovereign, divine, unlimited beings, can you tune into that for a moment? If you're really focused here. And do you truly believe in every cell of your body that you truly are unlimited? Because we truly are. It's only the belief system and our conditioning and the conditioning and collective beliefs of most other people that, most people believe if you're able to have some money and live a life doing what you love, that's the ultimate freedom. And that's a great starting point for sure. But my intention for myself every day when I look in the mirror, and for those of you that have heard me do these lives and my videos, I'm talking to myself. I am mirroring Jeff, so I do not forget the aha moments that I had and all the time I've put into identifying my limiting beliefs and automatic reactions and automatic judgments. And, those things still pop up. It's just that they don't have the control over me that they used to. So these are the things that we're going to dive deep into in the tools in the book, Waking Up in the Dream. And there is a link on my website where you can download the first 19 pages of the book. And if you don't think 19 pages will give you some aha moments, I really invite you to check it out. Number one, it's free. Number two, it's a PDF, and it's available right now on my website, portal2awakening.org. And it begins with what my teacher, Don Miguel Ruiz, had us all do in this little small group in 2001. And that's to really question your belief system. because most people don't. Even most people that I do sessions with and things in the beginning, they believe their belief system is who they are. And what happens is the ego goes into defense mode with any incoming data that goes against that belief system. So it automatically goes into reaction mode, which I call a trigger. And the ego feels threatened by anything that goes against its agreed upon belief system. And the belief system could change at any time. But the number one beautiful thing that Miguel got us to do is to realize that our belief system isn't even ours. It came from all outside of us. Mine came from my parents, grandparents, the school system, where they told us all what to think instead of teaching us how to think. Then, of course, the church, system of religion, separation. Put your power in something outside of yourself, you know, and maybe if you're lucky when you die, you won't go to hell. It's total deception programming disguised as the way and love. Never give your power away to anybody else. If you want to talk to God, that's great. If you want to talk to your guides, if you have them, that's great. But know that this is all happening inside your head with chemical reactions. And so you are God. That's it. It's all oneness, the law of one. Everybody's your mirror. Everybody is your teacher. And when you begin to tune into that, that's when you start advancing and clearing programs left and right. And I'm not saying, I have to do a disclaimer here. I'm not claiming that anybody on this call or on any of these replays knows less than I do. I know nothing. I'm just using the tools. I'm working with energy. I'm doing self-healing. I'm catching triggers. I'm training myself day by day, moment to moment, more and more and more over the years to be able to feel the frequency of my thoughts. So I can feel a judgment. I can feel a trigger. I can feel a fear. Fears are easier to feel for most people. Let's start there. We can feel that. That's what I call a low vibrational thought. So the key is to begin to track these and be the conscious observer that I talk about in my book, as opposed to what so many other people do. And when we don't have the tools, we're what I call an automatic reactor. We're in automatic reaction mode, which is what I described a minute ago, of the ego reacting defensively to anything that shows up to either trigger it into fear, judgment, worry, hatred, all these low vibrational thought forms and emotion forms. And so it's really important to track this stuff. I don't know if I'm looking at you. I keep looking over here because my screen's split because I'm doing a live, and I can see Serena's page. She's the one was nice enough to come on here with me. I can't see her right now, but so identifying what is our belief system and why do we have it? When I began to question my belief system and put it under a magnifying glass, I realized that 99% of my beliefs weren't even mine. They all came from external sources. So we're going to get into this. And as I begin to do these shows regularly on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which will be at 7 p.m. Pacific and 10 p.m. Eastern. And I'm doing my best to make this accessible to as many people as possible. So you're all welcome to post in here or send me messages when I post the image for these. And I'll do my best to do them on Saturdays as well, because that's a good day to catch people. Let me know what your availability is, because I'm dealing with different countries. And right now, Australia's asleep. It's like 1:20 in the morning. So they're not going to catch it right now, probably. But let me know. Okay, there's Roxanne. Hi, Roxanne. Thanks for joining us. So, questioning our belief system, what is it? Has anybody ever even really gone in and gone, what is my belief system? And then realize that 99% of it came from external sources. That was a huge wake-up call for me. Huge. That was like the initial aha moment. And so I'm trying to go into speaker view here and be centered on my screen. And it's showing Serena, so I'm not sure what's up with that. There's Dara. Hi, Dara. So the willingness to look at our belief system and what is our belief system? Where did it come from? This was one of the biggest aha moments and open portals on my awakening journey that ever happened to me, and still to this day, because so many people are running on automatic response and reaction mode because they get triggered into judgment. Republican against Democrat, you name it. And so we cannot change something. Let's call it a program, our belief system. We cannot change something that we cannot see. And so the purpose of Waking Up in the Dream, the book, the course, and pretty much everything I do is a combination of inner healing. A lot of people might not like that word, so you could call it inner clearing. If it makes you feel less than that we're in the process of healing, you could call it remembering. But this is what it is. We're undoing a millennia of programming. And the key is to get excited about it and to have fun with it. Because what happens when we begin to wake up and we realize that almost everything in the external world, or very much of it, and especially on the television, in the media, in the school system, which again tells you what to think instead of how to think, history, NASA, I mean, there's so much deception that it's really, really shocking when we begin to wake up. So that's the initial shock. Then, in order to really step back into your power, after you have that aha moment, even if it's a shock, you go, oh, okay. So what is going to serve me the most? Well, it's to be grounded, to not be triggered, and to be empowered in your truth, whatever that truth is in the current moment. And your truth might change from one moment to the next, from one day to the next, from 1 month to the next, but your truth is your truth. And the key is to be grounded and not triggered, because you can't process and think straight if you're triggered. You're not in your heart if you're triggered. If you're triggered, you're in your head. And so this is what we're going to get into. And I'm going to jump over real quick. Hey, Mina. Hey, Crystal. Crystal says, to be honest, I'm not even sure what my belief system is. I love that. Okay? So I invite you, as my teacher, Don Miguel Ruiz, did, to just begin to look at what your beliefs are. And it's really great to get a journal and just write down, what are your beliefs? Just free flow. You don't have to figure it out. There's no race. Just the act of doing this is going to start mirroring yourself. And you're going to start to put the pieces together. And you're going to get some aha moments. And you're going to be able to decide what you want to hold on to. Because when I realized that 99% of my beliefs weren't even mine, I only chose to hold on to 2. And one was, love is the answer in every situation, no matter what. Now, that doesn't mean to ever accept abuse. If you are in an abusive situation or a relationship, get out of it. However, nobody should be able to trigger you with their words if you believe what you believe. Because the only way that you get triggered is if somebody challenges one of your beliefs and you're just not really grounded in it. Somebody could come to me and say, Jeff, you're full of crap. You know, you don't know anything. You're claiming to be awake, which, first of all, let me do a disclaimer right now. What is awake? To me, awakening is the beginning stage of realizing that your belief system isn't yours and that there's way more going on than what we've been taught and what we've been told. And so then it becomes the commitment to accepting 100% responsibility for all your thoughts, all your words, all your emotions, and all your actions. Nobody's a victim. Nobody can do anything to you. Again, if you're getting physically abused in any way, then get out. There is zero tolerance for abuse. But I'm clarifying the difference between physical abuse and just somebody saying, you know, Jeff, you're full of crap or whatever. Well, people are entitled to their opinion. You know, I've been going down the rabbit hole enough. I've had people come at me. I trigger people. I don't intentionally try and do that. I used to more in the beginning to try and get them to wake up. And now I'm like, you know what? If somebody wants to ask me for help, then I'm happy to mirror them. You know, and again, I always start off with, I know nothing. You know, my belief system and my truths might not be yours. So like my teacher said, don't believe me, don't believe anybody else. Find out what resonates with you. And the place that I go for resonation is my heart. Because the mind is nothing but it's a data bank filled with information. And where did that information come from? Well, maybe for some of the people, or maybe many of the people, it may have come from your higher self. But growing up, it didn't. It got downloaded onto you through whatever situations you were in, parents, grandparents, school system, broken homes, abuse, trauma, childhood conditioning, sexual abuse, all this stuff that, you know, most of us have been through. And those of us that have chosen the hardest paths, or I won't say chosen, because in the beginning stages of waking up, you're like, I would have never chose to come down here and do this, ever. And, you know, sometimes I still have days like that where I'm like, really? I could have chosen anything as a sovereign divine being, and I came down here to go through 50 years of my life of pain and suffering and all the stuff we've been through. But once you get a little bit under your belt, you start to go, oh, okay. And so I just have to salute everybody that's gone through some of the deepest, darkest stuff, because when you accept responsibility for it and you turn it around and you finally realize that everything that happened to me on my journey was part of my soul's plan. It was all pre-planned, but then I had to forget about it. So then you go, okay, so now what do? I heal, I clear, I forgive. Starting with myself, I forgive myself, and then I forgive everybody else. If you are still holding lack of forgiveness, in other words, resentment, hatred, judgment, or basically lack of forgiveness with anyone, first of all, you're the one that's holding the poison. And number two, that means that you are usually unconsciously, but you're either unconsciously or consciously giving your power away to somebody else and saying, you have the power to control my life and make me unhappy. And that's not true. We are the only ones that can steal from our own bank of happiness. And with that, I'll go into the topic for tonight of judgment, the biggest addiction on the planet that most people don't even, or they're not even aware that it's an addiction. Why? Because their ego justifies everything they judge. For those of you that know me, have read the book or have seen my other videos, you know that I am a self-proclaimed, I was a judgeaholic. A sweet guy with a big heart. And I thought, because I didn't understand how the external mirror, the vibrating hologram, I use my hands a lot, I guess. I hope you like it. I'm moving energy. But the external hologram. it's reversed from what everybody thinks it is. Everybody thinks it's out there, but it's a mirror. It's mirroring back to us every frequency that we're holding. Our frequencies are like magnets. So what are frequencies and vibration? Just to clarify, because I talk about this a lot, but I may just assume that everybody knows what that is. And that's, I apologize for that. I do my best just to download what I can from the heart and not think about it too much, because it's better to just flow. I've found that when I try and pre-plan what I'm going to say all the time, it's a cluster. It's just, this is heart-based. This is a heart-based journey. The mind is there for certain things, but we are being invited to move beyond 3D timelines and into the higher vibrational dimensions. They can only be accessed through the heart portal, only. And so the hologram, the external world. I was taught a lot of judgment. I grew up in the Catholic Church, for Christ's sake. My uncle was really intense on me. My father died. My uncle probably felt responsible for raising me. So he approached me the way I guess his father did, which was, man, with an iron fist and a piece of wood out in the garage, and verbally abusive, and it was tough. It was tough. So, but I love him and I've forgiven him because he was doing his best. He cared about me. So, the external, what is it? It's what we see in the external world. So, I was holding so much judgment that I started pointing it all out there, because I thought that's how we would fix it. If everybody judges everything that's wrong, then it'll get fixed, right? This is my thinking. I didn't have any concept of what is conscious awareness. How does the hologram work? I didn't even know what a hologram was. This stuff never came into my field of awareness or consciousness until, I had been studying with Miguel and started to really dive down the rabbit hole. And then the internet came along, so there was access to a lot more information. So for those of us that are judging, this could be one of the most important things. This could create an opening for you, if you're just open to it, that could completely shift your energy, 80% of your energy, 70 to 80% of your energy. Because most people are running 50 to 80,000 thoughts per day. They're just recycling. They're running subconsciously and subconsciously, obviously. And the statistics are that 70 to 80% of those 50 to 80,000 daily thoughts are negative, less than, worryful thoughts, lack thoughts, judgmental thoughts about ourselves, the way we look, judgments about everybody else. And so I wrote a quote in the book that every time we judge, we are stealing from our own bank of happiness in that moment. And we will never get that moment back. So I was a judgeaholic. Thank God I woke up to that. Oh my God. This changed my life in every single area. If you're judging, you're really a victim because you don't understand how the dream works. Again, you think the external world is the external world. The external world is really a mirror. Yes, it's the collective energy, but it's really mirroring back to you over and over and over the frequencies and vibration that we are holding. So again, just to clarify, what creates our frequency and our vibration? Our thoughts, our words, and our emotions. Think of them as invisible waveforms. We can't really see them, at least I can't see them. Maybe some people can see them. There's so much going on that our eyes don't see. We're only seeing the tiniest percentage of light and things that are happening. It's fascinating. And we're going to open up to this. It's expanding. And so there's people that can see elementals in different dimensions and things. But for the sake of just getting this across in the clearest way that I can, the external world is a hologram mirroring our internal vibration. So if we wake up every morning and we're like, oh man, this sucks. I gotta go to work and I gotta go see Mary and she's always a bitch and I gotta drive in traffic and whatever it is, that's your vibration. But if you wake up in the morning like I invite everybody that I journey with to do, and in the monthly course, this is what we do every morning. As soon as we wake up from what we call the sleeping dream on our pillow, you're dreaming all the time, right? This is what Don Miguel Ruiz hit me to, and it was such another big aha moment. You're dreaming right now. How does that land? Is that like, oh, wow, or no, we're not, or we're dreaming all the time. It's cool. It might be foreign to you because most people haven't been taught that. And I'm not saying that you have to believe that. I'm just saying, isn't that interesting? Maybe something you can use. So when we awaken from the sleeping dream, if we immediately go into gratitude and we create our day before we step 1 foot out of bed, because as soon as we go to get up and step 1 foot out of bed, who starts running? The 50 to 80,000 thoughts. I got to get up. I got to put a pot of coffee on. I got to get ready. I got to hop in the shower. I got to. Your whole creative vortex, it's super fresh when you wake up, just got pulled back into automatic mode. So if you're open to it and you would really like to create a massive shift in every area of your life, commit to raising your vibration way up as soon as you awaken, because that's when you're the clearest. Yeah, once in a while you might wake up going, oh, I had a really bad dream, or I just don't feel good right now. But you can shift that immediately too, because that thought, when you have the awareness to catch the frequency of that, you go, oh, this doesn't feel good. So what do? Well, people that haven't trained themselves to be consciously aware and that aren't aware that they're creating their reality might go, oh man, this is going to be a shitty day. I didn't get enough sleep. I feel shitty now. Oh, I got to go to work. The story just starts running. And here's another example that may create an aha moment for people. You ever hear somebody say, I'm having a really bad day? They're usually not having a bad day. They had one thought, one trigger, let's call it. And then they decided, they let it run. And they let the ego go, yeah, and this is why, yeah, and she does that to me all the time, and another thing, and yeah. And the story, the ego just starts feeding, because the ego feeds on low vibrational frequencies, for the most part, until you train it to only allow high vibrational loving thoughts into your field. And this doesn't mean you're walking around like everything's love and peace, faking it like this fake spiritual, I'm a star seed and I don't have anything to heal or clear, I'm fully woke. You can feel these frequencies in your body. And when you begin to do this and you track your frequencies every day, like we do in the group and like we do with everybody that I don't like to use the word work. It's a heavy word, it's a spell. People that I journey with, people that I play with one-on-one or in the group. When you begin to track this stuff on a daily basis, every single thing in your dream will shift for the better. Every area of your life. Because now you're creating your dream instead of running on automatic pilot. So getting back to judgment, the biggest addiction on the planet, truly, way beyond drugs and alcohol. It began at the point of separation. It began when we came out of the womb. Maybe it began before that. I don't know. I don't remember that stuff. But to make the point, separation. And then we're taught what's good, what's bad, do this, don't do that. You know, and we download big time as soon as we're able to start processing thoughts, which is, you know, shortly after we're born. And so judgments are triggers, and they're created. I want you to be able to see this, because you can't change something that you can't see. We can't change a program or a pattern or a wound or a trauma. We can't change it or heal it if we can't see it. So this is one of the biggest aha moments for me. I'm trying to keep my heart on. I have 3 hearts going today. Somebody gave me this one yesterday, Valentine's Day. I love it. So we can't change something we can't see. So the invitation is to begin to start to see the programs, the triggers, the doubts, the fears, the less than thoughts, the judgments when we look in the mirror. Do you do mirror work? Do you look in the mirror? I know you look in the mirror to go, okay, I got to get my makeup on or get my hair looking good, or we all do it. But do you look in the mirror and go, wow, I love you? And then listen to what comes back. Because a lot of times it'll go, no, you don't. You're just saying that. Or, oh, you're getting older. Or, I don't like you with glass. Whatever it is. That's the self-talk that's running all day long underneath the surface. If you don't identify it, if you don't think that's going to show up in all of your relationships, you haven't figured it out yet. And I'm not saying that as trying to put anybody down. I'm loving everybody here. I'm only talking to myself here. Anybody else that sees this, wonderful. I'm mirroring Jeff. Every post that I do is for Jeff. Every video that I do is mirroring Jeff, so I don't forget. And I use these tools every day, from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed. And my life continues to get better. Yeah, do I have stuff come up? Of course. But it doesn't drag me down for hours and days and months and decades like some things do for people. Because getting back to that, I'm having a bad day thing, they had one trigger and they allowed it to run. And since they didn't have the awareness to catch the frequency in their body, you can feel the judgment. You can feel a trigger. They all have different levels of how they hit you. Some are very subtle. Oh, I don't like that lady's dress. I don't like that color. That's very low. But when you train yourself to catch even those tiny little ones, you'll start to clear your frequency so quick, and then the magic and the miracles start getting attracted to you like a magnet all day, every day. Why? Because when you're having a judgment, nothing new from the universal level of infinite possibilities can come in. A judgment all automatically blocks the hole, the doorway for all this great, magnificent, unlimited stuff that's available to us in every single moment. Only limited by what? Our belief system. This is a good one. I'm doing good today. This is so important to be able to see the program and how the ego feeds off of judgment and triggers and wants to defend. You see it everywhere, especially on social media. Somebody says something or writes a comment you don't like or whatever, you'll know when somebody's grounded, when they can respond to somebody else's triggered judgment and not have to trigger back. You'll know when you're in your power and you're consciously aware and in your heart when somebody starts to argue with you or project something to you, and you can calmly take a breath and say, okay, I hear you. If you'd like to have a calm, conscious conversation where we can both mirror each other and learn, I'm open to that. Are you open to that? If not, and you're going to project, then bye-bye. Because here's a really great tool. Here's a really great mantra to embody into your energetic field and carry with you every day. Anything less than love is not acceptable. Anything less than love, I don't accept. I don't have to tolerate it. I'll reach out and I'll help anybody I can. People message I can't even get to all my messages every day. I don't say that with an ego or anything. It's just people reach out. You know, I have an open door. I'll do my best to help anybody, but I will not tolerate anybody talking down to me disrespectfully. I'll mirror them one time, because we all get triggered. I've done it. I've said stupid stuff. I've said stuff I wish I would have never said. So I'll give everybody one chance, and I'll say it calmly. And if they come back negatively abusive again, they're gone. That's all there is to it. And when you begin to respect yourself enough to not tolerate that, you will clean up the abusers, the judgers, whatever these names, narcissists. That name wasn't even invented 10 years ago. But anyway, you get the point. And when you will only allow loving beings into your dream, your holographic field, your life, that's what you'll start to attract. Because your self-worth is now rooted in a place that comes from a healed heart space. And so, looking at judgments, the biggest addiction on the planet, beginning to catch them, beginning to track them. Well, how do you do that? We're having so many thoughts a day. Well, you're not going to do it, and you're probably not going to make much progress unless you put into play a system where you begin to catch, observe, and make a note. And then before you go to bed, you take 5 or 10 or 15 minutes or a half hour, whatever your value is for you. It's so amazing how little time people take to themselves, and they let the external world dictate how many hours they're going to work, what they're going to do, they're going to be in traffic, all this stuff. And then maybe we have a little bit of time in the evening or on the weekend for us. It's a really broken system, and it is a huge program. It affects us all at one time or another. Man, I got crushed by the system so many times. It forced me out. Had carpal tunnel, couldn't even move my wrist. Got shingles on my chest from stress, working 18 hours a day, trying to chase a dangling carrot. Thank God that happened. Pushed me into starting a recording studio 25 years ago, just saying, I'm never going back to the corporate thing, the corporation. No thanks. And for anybody that's out there, I'm not judging you. I'm offering you some tools that work for me. If you're not doing what you love, and you think that spending 50 to 65 are your best years, so you can then become retired. Boy, how's that for a heavy spell word? Retired? It's all in the words, people. And then try and live? I don't know. So I'll just drop that right there. So judgment, tracking our judgments. If we don't have a system, it's going to be very difficult, and it's going to take a long time to start to dismantle the automatics. In the 30-day group, we put it under the microscope so heavily with daily tools, trainings, and our 2+ hour weekly calls that it can't escape. And we have a private Facebook group, and we're mirroring it every day for anybody that shows up. I'm available 24/7. There's a group starting on Sunday for those those that would love to come in and join us. And it's a life-changing journey, no matter what level you're at, because there's always another level. There's always a deeper level of conscious awareness. There's always another level of expanding your heart and raising your vibration and really grounding into that and just taking that out to the world. No matter what you do, just in your energy in the morning when you create your day. My creating my day goes something like this. I just woke up. Okay, I immediately go into gratitude. That's my number one thing. And I've trained myself to do it. So it's automatic. And it changes everything. Because if you wake up and you don't go into gratitude, you don't take time to create your day, who's taking over? The 50 to 80,000 thoughts. They're just going to start running. It's like horses coming out of the gates. And they're off. 50 to 80,000 thoughts. I got to do this. I got to do that. There's no peace. So we have to take it. We have to take back our power from a place of love. So I wake up and I go, oh, I get to spend another day here. I get excited right away like a little kid. Why? Because every time you drop a smile and get excited, what does it do? Do it right now. Close your eyes, drop a smile, and drop a smile. It automatically raises your vibration in every cell. Can you feel that? So how many times a day can you do that? Why would you want to do it? Because your vibration is a magnet and it attracts like vibration. Just the same as judgments, fears, doubts, unworthiness, hatred, they are magnetic. Think of your thoughts as magnetic. If you get this, and I'm not saying you don't already know this, but if you get this, it'll change everything in your life. Because now you'll no longer run on automatic pilot and automatic reaction response mode, as I talk about it in the book. This whole thing, step by step in the book. There's no fluff. There's no conspiracy stuff. It talks about, yeah, your belief system came from other people, but it goes right into chapter 1, boom. Identifying it. Most people never identify it. They defend it their entire lives. You see it everywhere, but it's shifting. We're in the greatest time right now. So, I invite you to create your own way to track your triggers and your judgments. If you just do nothing more than that, it'll change everything in your life and everything in your relationships, because you'll start to attract more high vibrational things. You won't be triggered, and you'll be able to be in deeper conscious communication with the world, with Mother Nature, with every cell of your body. Who else has been taught to talk to your cells every day, that they are consciously aware and they're listening to every single thought, word, and emotion? Raise your hand. Yeah, me neither. Why don't they teach you that? That should be taught in nursery school and kindergarten. So I'm playing with that right now. Playing is my word that I substitute for working. That waking up in the dream book and many other wonderful books that are out there should be taught in first grade. How different would my life have been if I was given this information 50 years ago? Are you freaking kidding me? And this is something to get excited about, because this is where we're going. And it's here now. So that might be enough. We're coming up on an hour. I don't know if it means anything to anybody. I love to do this all day long, just playing music and getting my bare feet on the earth. If you're not getting your bare feet on the earth, try to begin to do that again, because it's very important with the higher frequencies coming in. It's important no matter what the frequencies are, whether they're high, whatever. Grounding into the earth. There is so much going on underneath the soil. It would literally explode your mind with fascination and wonder. If you could even realize a small percentage of it. And it's there. Here's two of the greatest things that I love to tune into that really teaches me what unconditional love is. Number one, every cell in my body. They're doing nothing but loving me and serving me 24/7, and they have since I was in the womb. They're just loving me. They're not asking for anything in return. But if you give them something in return, like your presence, your awareness, your love, oh my God, they just raise up and they go, okay, now we're going to attract some really good shit into the dream. It's fascinating. So when we put our bare feet on the earth or we lay on the ground, it's so healing. Because Mother Earth is the other one that teaches us unconditional love. Mother Earth asks for nothing in return. Go outside and look around. Look at the trees, the plants, the flowers, the air, the water, the earth. It's all there for no other reason but to serve us, to love us. And we've been unconsciously beating the hell out of it. And it still hasn't thrown us off. So it's so deep, it'll make you cry when you realize how much love your cells are giving you in every moment, even when you're asleep. You're not even thinking about it, and they're serving you, loving you. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't have anything better, you know? So, tracking your frequency and your vibration, most important thing you'll ever do, because it is solely responsible for everything that's going to come in to your energetic field. There may be some people that disagree with me on this. I read a post today that said, whatever's in your soul's plan is going to come in no matter what your thoughts. I'm paraphrasing, but I was like, I don't know. I share it this way because this is what works for me. This is what my teachers shared with me. And the other thing that's a really huge aha moment that you can put in your toolkit, every single person is your teacher. If you really want to go deeper, every single person is you. Try walking around for a day and holding that fascination in your mind. Play with that. In the law of one, there's only one. Everybody's your mirror. So everybody you judge, this is how you really fast track the awakening process. And this all comes back to my topic of judgments being the biggest addiction. And if you can't catch them, you aren't going to wake up. Not going to go beyond 3D holding on to judgments and lack of forgiveness for anything anybody's ever done in your life. Why? They don't exist in 5D and beyond. So you can't take it with you if you think you're going to go into 5D and beyond. If you haven't cleared your frequency and healed yourself and forgiven yourself and everybody else, and you're no longer judging. The door isn't going to open. Yeah. That's just pretty about as clear as you can be, I think. I don't know. I know nothing. I'm just doing my best to follow the frequencies, and everybody is my teacher. Everybody is my teacher. Everybody that comes into my group, every client I journey with is my teacher. I'm not up here going, this is what you need to do. I'm sharing tools, but I'm watching myself. I'm watching to make sure Larry, my ego, doesn't start to pull the wool over my eyes again. Have you named your ego yet? Really good thing to do if you haven't already. Yeah, my ego's name is Larry. He's a real conniving SOB. He's fear-based, he's judgmental, he's less than. Yeah, man. He wants to feed off a lot of crap, a lot of low vibrational energy. That's Larry's favorite buffet. But I don't only have Larry. I have Lizzie, named after Lizzie Borden, the axe murderer. Lizzie is my higher self-ego. She's the one that's done all the work. so she can create havoc and deception and throw me down for a loop on a totally different level than Larry. So the reason I'm mirroring this is because I think it's very valuable to look at the mind. If you can't see the programs running, you can't shift them. That's for sure. They will run you over and over and over because they feed off lower vibrational frequencies. So the invitation is to love them and to basically train them that we're going to only feed off of high vibrational frequencies moving forward. And if anything low comes in, we're going to love it, we're going to clear it, we're going to meet it, we're going to go right back to love. So you can actually clear a trigger, a judgment, and a trauma in one call. I see people clear 40, 50, 60, 70 years of trauma, of things they've been holding on to from sexual abuse, abandonment, death, you name it. All you have to do is see it and bring it into your awareness and meet it. People talk about this dark night of the soul, and fucking scares everybody away. I call it meeting the soul. You know? We're all here to heal and clear the past. How do you heal? You feel. Feeling is healing. The only way to clear a trauma or a wound is to go in and feel it. It wants to move. It wants to be met. It wants to be held and loved. And when you tell people the dark night of the soul, you think they want to go there? Yeah, I want to sign up for that. No, they want to start saying they're a starseed and they're a Palladian, and maybe they are. I don't know. I don't have any remembrance of any of that stuff. I'm sure I'm parts of every billions of molecules that are out there. You know, I just stay open, you know, unless I get a definite download. But who's to say what I was before I was a Palladian or whatever? But my point is, many people bypass on the spiritual journey because they don't want to go within. But you can't fake the frequencies. There's no way around it. It's built in. So I invite everybody to begin to catch the triggers and the judgments and clear them immediately. And if you want a roadmap, go get the book. It's actually on sale right now for the next 3 days at the portal2awakening.org. It's a digital download, and it's a roadmap that'll have you seeing stuff like quickly. And it's wonderful. But the mirroring that we do in the groups, that's why people have such quick aha moments in the groups, because you can read the book. I've read 200 spiritual books. My girlfriend and I at the time had the same books: Power and Now, Law of One, Byron Katie, Eckhart Tolle, Ra, I mean, all these wonderful books. But my personal experience was they opened me up, but they didn't go in and clear the underlying programs that I was running because I didn't know how to do that. So they were just more information on top of these underlying wounds and programs that I had from childhood. So you've got to be able to see them to go in and clear them. And the good news is you can clear them so freaking quick if you just show up and go, let's do it. You get on a call and you go, here's my story. Here's what's coming up. Here's my shit. Here's my wound. Here's what makes me angry. Here's what I'm judging. I hate my job. I'm in a shitty relationship. I keep attracting the same wrong people over and over and over. It's so easy to get to the bottom of it if you just go, mirror me. It doesn't mean I have the solution to everything, but I'll tell you what, when you finally just get honest with yourself and you get around people that will not judge you and they just hold that space for you, and then if they have some tools like I do, it's great. But when you surround yourself with people that will not judge you and they're there just to consciously evolve with each other, man, that's the new earth paradigm right there. That's what we're creating, you know? And then if somebody else is still stuck and they're not ready yet, then instead of judging them, because our judgments are about us. Every time you catch a judgment, it's about you. Larry isn't gonna want to own up to that, but I told him that's the way it is. No more. No more. I'm cleaning this stuff up. I'm not going to allow these programs and patterns to run and sabotage my life, my happiness, and my relationships anymore. I'm going to be ruthless with my self-love. And when you get to that point, that's when you know that you still might have some ego. It still might pop up. Fears might still pop up. Sometimes you don't know if a fear is yours or if it's a collective consciousness. It doesn't matter. You just go, oh, I just felt that frequency. What do? First thing you do is take a breath. Why? Oh, that felt uncomfortable. Some of them are just tiny. Some of them could be big, like a big fear. You're almost paralyzed. What do? Take a breath. You don't push it away. You don't build another wall around it. You feel it because the energy wants to move. If you don't let it move, it becomes trapped. That's how people get, cancers and cysts in their ovaries and blockages and ailments. It's stuck frequencies, stuck energies. Your vibration is everything. And when you do it from the heart, it's the highest frequency. It heals everything. And the energies that are coming into the planet right now are the highest they've ever been. Because we're collectively watering it and we're saying, yes, we're ready. And we're holding space for others that might not be there yet. And we're clearing and we're healing our wounds. Me too. Okay? But we're doing it together. So I intend that you found this valuable. If you'd like, I'd like to fire up my Tibetan bowl for a moment. And just say thanks to everybody. I don't know who's on there. I can't really track everything and hold my train of thought at the same time. There's a lot of cool comments and stuff. 3 people came in. Thank you, Dara, Roxanne, and Serena. I want to let people know I'm going to be doing this every Tuesday and Thursday, and I'm going to be doing it 7 p.m. Pacific and 10 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be in the evening. So people will have a lot more access, and you'll be able to come in, raise your hand, and type in your question, and we'll do mirroring. I don't want to talk the whole time. I want to hear from everybody. Just like we do in the monthly groups. We start moving through stuff so quick. It's a beautiful thing. And if we need to get into tears together, I'll do it with you. Feeling is healing. Crying is one of the most beautiful, releasing, healing things ever. And we've been taught to be ashamed about it. What a frickin' deceptive program. Oh my God. It's one of the most beautiful things we can ever do. So, I'm going to fire up a bowl here. I used to say that back in the day when we were smoking weed. For those of you that might be able to relate. Anyway, I invite you to tune in before we get back to Scrollville on Facebook and whatever we're going to do. And just take a couple minutes to tune in and process what you've heard. If you just joined in, you might want to go back and watch this from the beginning. There's a lot of really good gold in here. I don't hold back on anything. I share whatever I think are the most powerful tools that have been that way for me and that I see work with people every month and on every call that I do. So this stuff works. I know it works. And so let's just tune in collectively and give a lot of love to every cell in our body for serving us so unconditionally in every moment. Hope this isn't too loud coming through the speaker, but I'm trying to keep it down. Giving love to every cell. Giving love to Mother Earth. thanking everybody that we've ever crossed paths in our lives with, because we had an agreement on the soul journey, a contract for whatever reason. So whether you loved them or they hurt you, if you can get to the point where you thank everybody, now you're really clearing and healing your frequency in your body. And now you can begin to go to the next level of attracting higher levels of consciousness, higher timelines. Feel your body. Drop into your heart if you haven't already. Feel the difference between being in your heart and then drop a smile on top of that. That's when you'll know when you're in your heart. That's what I always do. I do it automatically. I go, oh, I'm in my head. I drop in my heart, and then I drop a smile on it. And that way I feel my frequency go up immediately. Guys, the external world, when we awaken and we take back our power, it can't control our frequency like it maybe has most of our life. And the invitation is to begin to harness your frequency in every moment throughout the day. And you begin to really feel the difference between thoughts. Start just choosing high vibrational thoughts and clearing, thanking all low vibrational thoughts for being your teacher. And if you can leave this call and go out into the world with even a little heightened sense of awareness of, oh, everybody's my teacher. So everybody that I judge, I thank them. And I ask myself, what is that judgment trying to teach me? What is every judgment trying to teach me? It's not about the people in the external world. They're my teacher. They're this incredibly magnificent hologram going on to guide me into deeper levels of love and higher levels of conscious awareness. It's such a beautiful system when you figure it out, when the light bulb goes off. All of this is here for us. It's not against us. Some of the stuff out there seems like it. But when you take your power back and go, no matter what's going on in the external world, I'm going to ground into my heart. Because I know, and even if you don't know yet, go, I think I'm going to try it because the other way doesn't work or hasn't worked. I'm going to test out this raising my vibrational frequency thing. And I'm going to watch all my thoughts and all my words and my emotions. And I'm going to test it out for 30 days. And if it doesn't work, I can always go back to running on automatic pilot and just being judgmental and saying it's all bullshit and everything else. That was me. That was Jeff. Give it 30 days if you're not doing it already. And watch. Keep track of it. Get yourself a journal if you don't have one already. If you're really committed, set 15 alarms on your phone to go off every hour from 8 a.m. until you go to sleep. Set them on vibrate. Some of you will get off this call and you'll set 15 alarms on your phone because you're serious. Some will just take this in and it'll go by. Maybe it's not meant for you. But if you can get a tap on the shoulder 15 times a day, even if you catch 3 or 5 of them, how much faster do you think your conscious awareness is going to shift than if you don't? Are you still smiling? Are you loving how much your body and every cell is loving you and Mother Earth and this technology that we get to connect all over the world? Are you kidding me? We created all this. We came here for this. The Grand Awakening, 2020. Not that time means anything, but we're using it to our advantage. And we're using the internet to our advantage to connect, to align and awaken with our soul family. And then reach out to give a helping hand of support and compassion for those that may not be there yet. And then to see, again, that they're all our teachers. So great. It's such a great system. So I intend that this has been valuable for you. I just send the deepest heartfelt gratitude to everybody that shows up in my dream, everybody that came on this call, everybody that shares these lives, everybody that comments, even the people that trigger me. Thank you for being my teachers. Thank you, everybody. You're magnificent. Do you see your magnificence when you look in the mirror? Are you doing mirror work? If you're not doing mirror work, I invite you to put that into your bag of self-love tools. That's how you know how you're really feeling about yourself at any given time. And you'll know if you've cleared the programs of judgment, unworthiness, shame, guilt. Look in the mirror. Not at your hair, not at your eyeliner. Look into your soul through your eyes. See how long you can stay there. Most people will do it for 5 seconds. See if you can hang for a minute or two. We used to do all night long matotes in front of a mirror with Miguel. We would watch our faces morph into other people, and it's such a great thing to do. I'll be doing some of those live coming up in 2020 in different parts of the world, and taking Waking Up in the Dream out in person. So again, thank you to everybody for holding the vision, for showing up for you and everybody else, and for everything that you do in loving kindness each day, thought-wise, with your words, with your intentions. Begin to create your day every day consciously before you get out of bed. Don't let that time go by. Nothing is more important. Nothing is more important, no matter what your mind tells you. If you need to set your alarm and go to bed 15 minutes earlier or 10 minutes earlier, then do it. Start to tune in to who's creating the dream. Don't let the external world, the corporate world, any of the programs steal your ability to create and manifest your dream moving forward. Don't give up 8 to 10 hours a day. If you don't love it, find a way out. If you want help, reach out. Schedule a call with me, or find somebody else, find a friend, whatever. I love you guys. I love Jeff. It took a long time to say that. It took a long time to heal. I didn't have the tools for a long time. Now I do. I'll never go against myself again. I'll never be mean to anybody ever again. And if I slip, I will catch it so quick, and I will turn it around, and I will heal it. This is the invitation, and things start to get really fun when you set these intentions. I love you all, as I love myself. Sometimes I love you more than I love myself. But then that just shows me the place that needs more love. So I go into the mirror and I do it. I don't let things last any longer than a few seconds or a minute anymore. I invite you to do the same. I intend that this has been valuable for you. So again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody that shares these to all the different groups. You never know who's going to hear one thing, and it could change everything for them. They might be thinking about checking out, suicide, I don't know. I get messages from people like that. And again, for anybody that this resonates with that wants to go on the most incredible, deep inward journey, I invite you to come join us on Sunday. It's going to be at 8 a.m. The calls are every week for 4 weeks, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. For what this course delivers, it's priceless. And the cost of it is, I don't want to offend anybody, but it's ridiculously cheap. There's courses I paid for that were literally 10 times as much that didn't do this for me. And I will work out something with anybody that wants to come and do this course. I'll work it out with you. So if this resonates, private message me. If you're getting a yes, private message me now, because the ego will know what's coming and it'll talk you out of this. It'll go, that sounds really good. And then you'll get distracted and then you'll go, nope, I know how it works. The only reason, one of the reasons I got to where I was is because number one, Don Miguel Ruiz is world famous. I wanted to study with him because he was in San Diego. Then I became his personal recording engineer. So, and then I had to commit to doing the journey with him for 1 year at a time. You couldn't come to the 3-day dreaming weekends unless you committed to 1 year at a time. So make yourself some type of commitment and stretch it a little bit, because your ego isn't going to want you to really stretch because it wants to remain in control. So if anybody wants to do this journey, message me. If you want to do something one-on-one, send me a message. I'll do private sessions. I'll help you out with that too. And with that, it's 11:22 right now. I love it how it lines up. You raise your frequency and vibration, operate through the heart. Much love to everybody. Have an incredible day, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you, Serena, for being on my first new live launch, Roxanne, Dara, and everybody else that shares this. I invite everybody, come join me on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'll try and do them on Saturdays when I'm available as well, if I'm not doing music. The link is on my page, and I'll post these every Tuesday and Thursday. And if you have any questions, reach out. All right. Any blessings.